What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Good to see y'all on this Sunday night. Good to be with y'all. I can't see y'all. Y'all can see me. So hope it's good to hope it's good for me to be seen on this Sunday night. Um, we'll get into the details of what the topic is about as we get a few people to enter into the room. But nonetheless, man, shout out to all of y'all. I hope y'all having a great Sunday, a great day, great life, whatever it is, there's a lot going on. So hope you're enjoying it. Everybody that comes in, please click the like button as you come in. Make sure you click the like button for your big brother. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, and turn on your notifications. That's where we that's where our bread is buttered in this YouTuberverse. Trying the never ending quest to get in and stay in what's known as the algorithm. So clicking that like button, in the words of the Cheers theme song, sure would help a lot. All right, man. Yeah, click the like. Let's get it on, man. Let's get it on. As some of y'all may or may not have known, we, meaning when I say we, I mean myself, Point Blank, Klondike Cat, Mr. Cap, the South Park Coalition guys. Um, we had an event in Austin, Texas that was scheduled for yesterday during the whole South by Southwest run. And for those of y'all who don't really know a lot about how we move, um, first of all, thank God for all the blessings that He gives to me and to us. We thank Him for all the blessings that we get, everything that we get in this music business and in life, because we some self-made dudes. I can't even begin to put it into words. I can't even explain it myself. But that being said, I'm saying that to say that, you know, our phones still ring, our DM still uh, got motion, our emails still got motion, and people still reach out to us all the time to book us to do shows, book us to do events, features, all that good stuff. We get a lot of that action. I know, speaking for myself. Um, but the other side to that is that we also put together a lot of our own events. We don't always wait to get booked. We don't always sit around waiting for the phone to ring and the email to get lit up or whatever. We will set up our own events. We will find venues, make deals with club owners and venue owners, and when we come to an agreement, we will set something up, whether it's in town or whether it's out of town. We set up our own stuff a lot of times. And when we do that, we set it up, we promote it, we push it, and we get our people to come out. Our people come out and they show us love. And we've been doing that for years. So I had a show in Austin in late January. I think it was January the 31st. I had a show in Austin. Hey, y'all click that like, man. If y'all in here, y'all ain't clicked it yet. Click the like button. It's messing with my OCD. But I had a show in Austin on the 31st. Shout out to my homies, man. College of Hip Hop. Salute to my homies, man. Great show, beautiful show. But we had been planning or working on trying to put together our own event in Austin long before I got booked for that show. So um, I had been trying to get with venues and haven't been having any luck getting any venues in Austin, right? So I figured, okay, while I'm out here doing this show, while I'm out here, let's find a venue to do a show at some point after this. Um, Shout out to my homie Joel, who I've been rocking with. I don't know if y'all are familiar with my homie Save Our Children movement. They've been on my podcast. We just did the track with Afro Man, the Save Our Children track with Afro Man and myself. And the video is out. But my homie Joel, he lives in Austin. So he had been working to try to find venues for us so we could come out there and put something together ourselves. Cause that's how we move. We move. We'll put together an event in a minute because we got love. So he plugs me into this particular venue, and during the time I was out there in January, and we made a deal with the venue that we were going to come back out during the South by Southwest time, which was this time here yesterday. I think tonight is the last night of South by Southwest. So we make a deal with these guys at their spot. They got a spot that's above the club. We were not doing, it was not going to be a concert at first. It was just going to be a meet and greet. Then we later on said, okay, well, while we there, this is what me and Blank, we call it pop-up extra. So it's a pop-up shop meet and greet, but extra is we'll perform. So that's what it was set up to do. So make the deal with the people. It's all good, It's all love. It's all hugs and handshakes. Deal, just like we always do. So this has been, like I say, this is late January. So you got all of February and half of March, which was 5th to 15th, which is just like a month and a half. We promoting this event. We pushing this event. So we get to Austin. I get there a little later. I get there a little bit later. Me and Cat, we get there a little bit later. Blank is already there. So Blank is hitting me up and say, well, man, we having some problems with the venue owners. So I'm like, what kind of problems, So Blank is like, man, they own one, like they really don't want us to do the event. So it's like, okay, I don't know what that's about. I say, but we just pulled up. We coming up right now. We getting ready to walk up right now. So by the time we get there, Blank is like, man, yeah, man, these dudes is on one. They acting real. They acting, his words, they borderline disrespectful. I knew that they hadn't crossed over the threshold of disrespectful yet, because if they did, me knowing Blank the way I know him, I would have knew already. It'd have been a different type of conversation. But so anyway, so I'm like, okay, well, I guess we solved it, because it was kind of like, it's all good, bang, bang, boogie, whatever. So I guess we solved it. And I thought we solved it. So we bringing in merch. Our DJ, he's setting up, getting everything going. But these different conversations are now starting to happen. Like they're saying, hey, man, we don't want the music to be too loud. Okay, no problem. All right. Now it's like my homie Joe, he reintroduces me to the guy who owns the spot. And it's like, okay, well, man, yeah, man, we don't want a lot of people in here. So right there, that's the first red flag for me. I'm like, okay, well, if you don't, how can you agree to have a meet and greet inside of your place, but then say you don't want a lot of people in there? That doesn't make sense. It don't make sense for you. Like, hey, man, I want to have a Bun B doing the rodeo. Then the rodeo people say, Bun, we don't want a whole lot of people in here. That's the objective, is to get people in there, right? So, so the guy's acting like he don't want us there. Now, I'm still brushing it off like, all right, well, okay, whatever. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about something that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us. And that is, never force your way into places that you're not welcome. You should never try to force your way into place. If the people don't want you there, you shouldn't be there. If somebody don't want you in their house, you shouldn't try to say, hey, I'm coming in your house. If somebody don't want you in their restaurant, you shouldn't be, I'm going to sit in your restaurant. I don't care where it is. Somebody don't want you on their beach, I don't want to be there if you don't want me there. So we made a decision, just to wrap this story up, we made a decision to shut it down. We was like, well, nah, you know what, man? We done. We're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? I told Blank, and I was like, nah, man, shut it down. Let's shut it down. And he was like, yeah, let's shut it down because, you know, you don't want this to go nowhere else. Right? That's not what we do. You know, we don't get into all that. You know. So we shut it down. We started taking our stuff out. We got DJ, man, unplug everything, and it's a done deal. So the point of me telling this story is because on the outside of on 6th Street, it just lit up on the outside, people everywhere. So of course, once we not up there no more, we downstairs. We down on the street. We down on the street. That's how we move, you know. So nothing but love. The people coming showing us number love, man. Everybody coming up to us. People periodically just number love, just like how Austin always just, man, just salute to the people in Austin, man. Y'all always show South Park Coalition love. We appreciate that. But we was done with the event. So we hung around for a little while. We even went inside. I know me and Klondike Cat, we went inside to an event next door that was being put together by Miss Megan. Shout out to Miss Megan from the H-Town. She put together a dope event that was downstairs from the place that we were at. You know, so I went in, did an interview, a couple of things with some other people that were there, did drops with everybody. You know, it's love. It's a bunch of H-Town people there. But we leave. So as we're leaving, though, we getting contacted by different people who came to the event that we were supposed to be having. They're like, what's going on? Like, what happened? You know, where y'all at? Blah, 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 whatever. So we find ourselves having to explain to them what happened and what the venue owners, how they was treating us. And we decided to just say, nah, we're going to shut it down. We ain't going to go there. So, and even all the way into today, people hitting me up like, hey, man, I came to the thing and y'all wasn't there. And I came, you know, I showed up and blah, blah. And one of the homies even said, yeah, man, the people was acting funny. And I was like, yeah. So I had to explain to him what it was. He was like, oh, okay. So my purpose of explaining all this is to just basically apologize to anybody who may have come to the event expecting to see us there if you didn't catch us on the street, because we hung around for a while, partly for that purpose. Like, okay, if people come up, we can let them know when it went bad upstairs, but we here. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was. But I just wanted to really just apologize to anybody that came and just like, what happened? Where they at? And it's definitely not any kind of indictment on the people in Austin. Because like I say, man, the people in Austin are great. Always have been. I love Austin. I love the people. But the venue, if you had a problem with whatever, I don't know, rappers being there, or I heard another story that may have explained it, but I'm not going to tell that story because it involves people that I shouldn't mention because it ain't none of my business, you know, so I'm not going to get into that, but that may have been a contributing factor to why they was acting like that. But what I will say is this: don't let the actions of someone prior affect how you deal with someone current. It's like a relationship. It's like when somebody's been in a bad, abusive relationship, then they carry that over into the next relationship. It's like, well, okay, just because this person was beating you and abusive and kicked you down the stairs and all that, don't get into another relationship and put that on the new person, because the new person didn't do any of that. So whatever happened before us, we got penalized for it. Basically, we got the brunt of, you know, whatever it is that we got. So my thought was, dude, if you had an issue, if how do you not know what a hip hop event entails? You know, I mean, I guess it's possible to not know, but you know, you could have asked questions. You could have got some history on how we do our events, because we don't do our events. Our events are always family oriented events. Our events are cool. We don't like no crap at our events. So if you didn't want us there, you should have said it when we first made the deal, you know. And if somebody else salted your mind, or somebody else made you feel like, oh man, this, I don't know if this is a good idea. Hey man, you still got to honor your agreement, but there's a better way to kind of relay your message to let us know, hey man, look, something happened here last night that was kind of, that we didn't like, and we just putting that on your mind because we don't want that to happen again. And we can tell you and assure you, well, man, look, I'm sorry what happened last night. That didn't have anything to do with us. That's not how we move, and you won't have to worry about that with us, barring something unforeseen. So that was the deal with that. So if anybody, you know, I don't know if there's anybody in here that might have came, but if anybody came and was like where they at, or felt like it was some kind of a false advertisement or something like that, it wasn't. It was just that, based on the way the people whose venue it was, this they house, they got a right to do and say, act how they want to act in terms of let in. No, they ain't got a right to be disrespectful, but they got a right to say, well, nah, man, we don't want this, or this is how we want it to be. It's your place. But make all that known, man. If you didn't want us there, you should have said in the first place. We didn't want to disappoint our supporters and people who may have came out to see us, because, you know, the reality is this. This is during South by Southwest. So it's not just a situation where people just pull up, oh, they're not there, okay, we'll just go home. Nah, man, parking is $40, $50. You know what I'm saying? People got to pay $40 or $50 to park. Our event was gonna be free to get in, but you still got to use gas money to get there. You know, you still got to navigate through all the crap because you can't park up close. You got to walk. So it's a lot of factors that contribute to being an inconvenience to a fan, that it wouldn't have been an inconvenience because they would have been coming to see us and they'd have saw us and hung out, whatever. And it's cool because you know it's coming in. But if you do all of that and you don't get to actually see what you came to see, then that's messed up. You know, that's messed up. And we don't operate like that, man. Anybody that knows anything about the South Park Coalition, man, we fans first. Fans first. There's no mistreatment of our fans. There's no dismissal and disrespect. Somebody want to take a picture, somebody want autograph, somebody, what I mean, that's how we move. That you can't find no documentation of us acting funny with our fans. We appreciate our fans because, you know, they make us who we are. So for us to not be there, or by the time somebody got there, we was gone. Because we did hang around out in the front. We hung around, I want to at least say about an hour. We hung around. And a few people did come up, you know. But like I say, that was people that was hitting us, hitting myself, hitting Blank, you know, like, what happened? Where y'all at? What happened? I went up there, and you know, I just want to apologize to anybody who falls into that category, man, because we that ain't how we do. So now, my goal now is to try to put something together in Austin somewhere down the line in the near future, and make up for that. You know, to make up for that, even though it wasn't our fault. You know, even though we were not the catalyst behind that, you know. And in me, in my trying to be as fair and as open-minded about the situation as I can, I could easily just dump a whole lot of negative words on the venue owners, but I won't do that outside of saying the mistake that they made was to not categorize us with whoever rubbed them the wrong way the night before. Because to try to look at it through their lens, okay, if somebody came in your venue and didn't operate the way you felt was right, I understand you being a little skeptical when the next night you got to have another event there. I get that. I understand that. So I'm broad-minded enough to kind of see where they're coming from. But they have to also be broad-minded enough to know, okay, well, that wasn't these guys. So again, I will explain to these guys what happened. Hey, last night, man, you know, we just don't want anything. You know, we said we made a deal with y'all, but don't try to treat us like we were the guys from last night. Did you treat the guys from last night like that? Did you handle them? Not that they, let me get something clear. Not that they handled us in any kind of way. That's not going to happen. But did you come off at them in a way? You know, because I feel like if you did, maybe you would have been more satisfied in your spirit. Hey, man, we had to take care of some stuff last night because these guys came in. And us being us, we're going to say, oh, well, no, man, that ain't how we move, man. I mean, we can't do our thing. You're not going to have to worry about that with any. You're not going to have to worry about that with us, sir. We don't operate like that. You know, our first option, our first move is always respect. Out the gate, we respect all. And we definitely respect any venue that opens its doors to us and allows us to have an event in their venue. It's your venue. So we definitely we don't come in with any arrogance. We don't come in with any entitlement. We don't come in with any ego, any disrespect. We don't come in with none of that. We come in with humility, like, hey, man, thanks, man. It's good to work with y'all. Bang, bang, boogie. Let's get it on. And at the end of the night, we pray that everybody is satisfied with the result. But we also don't let people do us any kind of way. That's not going to ever happen, you know. So we decided to just shut it down. And I think that was something that they was glad to see us do. But it was also something that, although, like I say, from a fan standpoint, we didn't want to do it, but we felt like it was necessary. Trust me, anybody that knows us, I see JD is up here. JD, you know how you already know what it is, JD. You already know what it is. We don't come in with nothing but respect. And because that's how you're supposed to move. You don't come in nobody's house acting like you run the place. So we don't do that. But we gonna get up out of there if it ain't right. So that's the explanation. That's what happened in Austin yesterday, man. For anybody who might have came, might be somebody in here. I don't know. I've gotten emails, phone calls, DMs, text, everything you can think, any form of communicate. I done got everything except somebody sending a homing pigeon. You know. So, but we will be trying to find another spot. And I want to shout out to my homie Joe because he felt bad. I'm like, dude, it ain't your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that this happened. You know, so shout out to him. That's a good dude, man. You know, good dude. And he did everything he can. But naturally, anybody with a good spirit, even though it's not their fault, they're going to feel bad that it happened like that because they was the plug. See, if you see, it's like giving a referral. You know, if I refer you to if I refer you, if I say, man, I know a real good mechanic that can fix your car, and then when I refer you to him, you pay him the money to fix your car and get the part, and then he come up missing and then he take your money. I'm gonna feel bad, like, oh man, I'm the one that plugged him in with this, man. Even though it's not my fault, because I didn't know that this dude was gonna stunt like that. So shout out to my homie. You know, we had to just reinforce him, man. It ain't your fault, man. You know, don't feel bad, bro. Don't feel bad at all. And to anybody, everybody that's watching this, you know, this is just not a rap scenario. This could happen in anything. You could rent a venue out for your family reunion. You could rent a venue out for your uh, daughter's baby shower, and things happen because sometimes there are conflicts between client and venues and stuff like these types of things happen. So you got to charge it to the game at times because it falls into that 1-2% of the time where things don't actually go exactly the way that you want them to go. But the other 98 speaks for itself. The other 98% speaks for itself. So we don't typically have these kind of issues. Our events are usually, you know, really, really great, really blessed events. You know, every now and then it's something, but you know, that's we move, we peaceful people. We move in peace, man, and we get our blessings, I believe, you know, because of that. We move with respect. So that's what it is. So what we'll do, man, I'll look at some of y'all comments based on this conversation, and then we can just turn the back end of this live into an open topic. And we'll turn the back end to that open topic and we just get it in. But because I'm not gonna spend no hour talking about what happened yesterday, but I did want to clear it up for anybody who might have. Some of y'all didn't even know. You know, some of y'all just find out about this because y'all ain't even live nowhere around here to know. But this mainly was for anybody who might be in the area or came and didn't know what went down. All right, so I'm gonna flip through these comments. Airplane, no, I've never been to a Diddy party. And we don't throw Diddy parties. We don't do Diddy parties. We don't do pity parties. All right. Lavish logos. You got to check what out, lavish logos? You say you got to check what out? What you got to check out, lavish logo? Lady Trill, it was a vibe. What was a vibe? What are y'all talking about? Did I miss something? What was a vibe? And what do you got to check out, lavish logo? I'm talking about what happened in Austin yesterday. It wasn't a vibe. And you wouldn't want to check it out. Battlefield. No, it's all good. We gonna re-up. We gonna re-up. We gonna come back and make something pop off. Battlefield says sounds like they ain't too hip hop friendly. I mean, but you're opening your door to allow hip hop events to be in your spot. And it wasn't a big spot, you know. It's cool little upstairs, little. I think it was like a little spot. But if you wasn't comfortable, just don't agree to it. Yeah, don't agree to it. All right, let me see. MC Josiah says this sounds like an open mic I used to go to in the last decade called Monks. They always ask us to turn the music down. like, why would you? Yeah, why would you let an open mic be? Hey, yeah, y'all come on, y'all can have y'all party here, but turn the music down and don't let too many people in. That's dumb. Yeah. We had a great time though, because the people, man. See, the people the people make things all better, you know, because you realize where your bread is buttered, and that's the love of the people, man. We should have just set up shop on the sidewalk. Yeah. And JD, no, that's not. It's not ATX being weird. It was just them. The city of Austin, man. The people in Austin, man. I like I say all the time. I've done more shows in Austin than any other city besides Houston in my lifetime. I've been doing shows in Austin for over 30 years, bro. That is crazy. I've been doing shows in Austin since the early 90s, man. Literally since the early 90s. I've been to Austin. I've done so many shows. I could not tell you how many shows I've done out. And it's one of the best music cities, man. These people appreciate music, all genres. I mean, they love hip hop. They love. That's why South by Southwest was what it was. It's not big like it used to be. It's like it ain't nowhere near like it used to be. But it's a very diverse music city. So now I don't put it on Austin being weird. I ain't gonna lie, JD. It ain't Austin being weird. It just happened to be those guys. And like I say, looking at it, trying to be open-minded about it. If something happened last night before we got there, the night before we got there, I can actually understand why they might feel a little, because that's their place of business. They're like, I don't want nobody coming in here. I understand. I truly get. Most people wouldn't look at it from that angle. They'll be like, oh man, they do it. But I see it. We have to always try to look at things from other people's perspective, even in our disagreement of it. That's the best way to kind of conclude or find some kind of solution or common ground, because even if I disagree, I should still kind of try to see why you feel the way you feel. So once they told me the story, I was like, okay, I get it, but because now I got to come with my side. Y'all click the like button if you haven't already, man. Y'all click that like button if you haven't already, man. The silencer says, though he did state that he received some information that may have explained it. Either way, quite unprofessional from the yeah. No doubt, silencer. I did. I received them information. I know I get why they felt that way. See, and that I'm glad you said that. I understand why they felt that way, but it does not justify them to act that way. If that makes sense. Yeah. All right. I'll say it's not always about principalities. Forgiveness is not a weakness. Now, forgiveness is not a weakness unless you are forgiving the wrong types of people who take advantage of the forgiveness to because they try to turn it into a weakness. Tex Lozada, you probably got to rewind back and just catch me talking about it from the beginning. Yeah. All right, man. I'm still just seeing what y'all saying. But shout out to Austin, man. Shout out to people of Austin, man. I still had a good time. We turned around and came right back home. It was like, zoop, zoop. Ooh. Okay, now, man, we can go into open topic now, y'all. I'm off of that. We ain't gonna dwell on that all night. God is great. Still is. Tex Lozado says, I first met you in Killeen, Texas, 25 years ago. Man, I know what show you talking about. That's back when Miss Gigi used to do the shows. back in Killeen. We used to come out there every year, man. Came out there, SPC, my homie from Dallas, Cottonmouth. Yeah, man. OG Cottonmouth from Dallas. We used to go to the shows out there in Killeen. And I'm gonna tell you what's funny about that text, those shows. I'm gonna tell you a story, how I ended up on those shows. Somebody told me about that one of those particular shows because she used to do, I think they used to be outside. There's a big old park or field or something. Let me know if that's the show you met me at. But when I first came to Killeen, it was a setup like that. They had this outdoor thing. It was about 299 degrees outside. And somebody plugged me into that show and they was like, yeah, contact this lady, Miss Gigi. And I was like, okay, cool. I wanted to get on the show, so I reached out. And this one I had just dropped the No Mercy album. I had just dropped No Mercy. Look, y'all see that No Mercy album in the background right there? See where my pen is pointing? I had just dropped this album. It came out. This how I know your timeline is right. It came out in the year 2000. It came out 25 years ago. So this is a 25-year anniversary of me dropping a No Mercy album, right? So when I contacted the lady about the show, of course I didn't do it for free. And she was like, she didn't know me. She had never heard of me. So she was like, we was actually going back and forth, and I was like, why should I pay you? I don't even know who you are. I say, well, just because you don't know who I am, that don't mean other people don't. So I say, but yeah, you know, you're right. This your budget, your revenue. You pay or not pay whoever you don't want to pay or not pay like that. So I say, that's all good. So we literally like going back and forth like that. So she calls me back. So because I was like, okay, cool. So a few, maybe an hour later, so she calls me back, and she's like, okay, well, I want to put you on the show. I'm gonna pay you. She said, but you better perform. Like she's like telling me like you better give a hell of a performance like that. So I said, look, ma'am, you know, I try to watch how I talk to the lady. She's an older lady too, so I definitely was gonna be respectful. I say, I don't take too kindly people sound like they threatening me. I said, I don't like that. You know, I don't like people. No, I'm just saying, you know, I say, look, if you want me to come out, come. I say, but don't talk to me like you threatening me. I don't like that. You know, what do you mean? I better perform. I better, you know. And so we went up there, me and my crew, we went out there and we did our thing, man. We came on with it, man. It was a great show. And me and her, we was cool ever since. I mean, we was cool, and she would book me every year to come out to Killeen, to the point whereby that second or third time we would laugh about that. I was like, yeah, remember when you first met me, you were trying to threaten me, trying to talk, you know, and we just got so cool after that, man. And after about 3 or 4 years, I stopped hearing from her. I never knew what happened to her, man. But her name was Miss Gigi. She was cool as a fan, man. She always showed us love when we came to Killeen. So I don't know if that's the show you was out. Let me know if it was outside in like this field. Yeah. All right. Walaikum salam, brother Chris. Brother Chris say he jamming that pop pop. Oh man, that's funny you said that. If y'all not familiar with what brother Christopher X is talking about, pop pop is a song I did for a movie soundtrack that's getting ready to drop this year. It's a movie called Return of the Mac. It's like a sequel, not a sequel, but it's like a continuation of the Max Julian movie, The Mac from the 70s. And I did 2 songs for the soundtrack. And one of them is a song called Pop Pop. And the other one is called Return to the Mac, which is the title track from the movie. And the movie's getting ready to drop, man. Shout out to my brother and sister, man, who put that whole thing together and showed so much love, man. I can't even explain how great of people these people are who's behind this movie, brother Chris. You know, they've been so good to me, man. Just beautiful, beautiful people, man. Beautiful people. I can't wait till the movie drops. But both those songs are on YouTube. They put the songs out on YouTube. So Pop Pop and Return of the Mac, y'all go check them out. Yeah. Heathen Deluxe says, what is your least favorite album of yours? Man, you know what? I'm glad you asked me that question, because people always say, man, what's your favorite album? Nobody thinks about the other side. You know, my least favorite album would probably be my self-titled album. You know, I got an album that's just named K-Rino with a plain cover with my name across it. And it's a long story behind that. I got caught up with some people on this record label back in the late 90s when I was still in my 20s, and we just had a big falling out behind the terms of the deal. And that would probably be my least favorite album I ever did, was my self-titled album. Even though a lot of the fans and people who never knew the story behind, they always, oh man, I love that album. I love that album. Like, man, that album didn't even come out the way it was supposed to. They messed it out. They messed that album up. But yeah, I'm glad you asked me that question. Yeah. Okay, Connie says they missed out. Listen to Return of the Mac lyrics plus the instrumental. Yeah, appreciate that, Connie. Yeah. Infamous cursed nerd. What do you think is wrong with modern America? Modern America has not atoned for the injustices carried out against Black people and indigenous people. So therefore, it's on the target list to be destroyed. You know, America is built on the premise of white supremacy, and they standing on it. And we have let's say the people who are in charge are not qualified, spiritually qualified, and intellectually qualified enough to avert America's destruction. And we got to get our stuff together so we won't be in the way. Yep. Yep. See, Tex knows. See, Tex, well, your timeline was perfect. That was 25 years ago, bro. Miss Lady Sample, K, I heard Last Days the other night. Realize you know scripture better than I do. I don't know it. I don't know about all that. I mean, I know what I know. I can't say I know scripture better than anybody else, but I do know what I know based on what I was taught. You know, so, I mean, and what I do know, like I say, I learned it. I'm going to always give credit where it's due. I learned it from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings. I learned it from Mr. Farrakhan teaching us. I learned it from Dr. Abdul Halim teaching us. I mean, so yeah, you know, I'm not no biblical nor Quranic scholar. I'm not a biblical nor Quranic scholar. I just know what I know. And I speak what I learned the best I can. And sometimes I don't know. And I don't know, I get, okay, well, I don't know that one. You got me. But I'm not a guy who has a problems going, you got me. You know, because I'm gonna go back and try to find the answer. But so the next time you see me, I'm gonna be on your head like a do-rag. Because I like to seek knowledge. I like to know. Yeah. Spikey says, when it comes to Farrakhan, what do you mean when they say they're going to get him? Because I feel like they would do the same with you because of what you teach. No, well, first let me say this. I am a I'm a person who loves Minister Farrakhan, and much of what I rap about comes from things that I learned listening to him. So when you hear songs like Grand Deception, when you hear songs like uh, Hidden Agenda, Lifting the Veil, just those types of songs, any songs I'm going in on, any of those songs I can't think of the titles right now. A lot of those songs are filled with teachings from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who is the teacher of Minister Farrakhan. So that's all in one line. When you hear Minister Farrakhan, you're hearing Elijah Muhammad. So those songs, that knowledge that are in those songs, they don't come from me. I was not born some special magical child that had, oh, he was born and blessed with all of this. No, I don't know nothing. I ain't know nothing. Just a regular Negro walking around just like everybody else. But when I heard those teachings, it's like, okay, yeah, now I got a purpose. I got a purpose. So I felt like the least I could do in all my madness, the least I could do is utilize a gift that God gave me to relay this message that God gave them. That's it. So if I said, and I think you may be referring to me just talking about a time where the government will come for Minister Farrakhan, you know, this is coming from what he tells us, his role in Scripture, who he is in Scripture, and the fact that because he is dangerous to their agenda, because he exposes their agenda to us, to wake us up, and to warn and possibly save them from themselves, they don't have the kind of mind to receive that kind of warning, that kind of teachings. So he's viewed as an enemy. So the fact that Mr. Farrakhan is a hated man by this government, always have been, just like his teacher was and is, there's going to be a time where they come after him according to what he teaches, right? This ain't me guessing something and trying to act like, you know, one day. No, this is the minister. It's telling us, and Scripture bearing witness to it. So we know this. We already know what's coming. You know, if you keep waking up, you'll see that day. But I'm not, I don't ever want anybody to ever, I don't care how much you listen to my music, I don't care whatever you might think of, don't ever equate me on a plane with Farrakhan. It's no. He is way up. I'm nobody. Remember that. So that's a real good question that you're answering. But you know, the fact of the matter is, any true man of God, they're going to come after him. The powers of whatever world, go back in any era, any time in history, any man of God is going to be persecuted by whatever government is in place at the time. That's a norm that happens throughout history. It's a pattern. That's the word I was looking for. Oh, I gotta say this part. Now, just because they come for him, that don't mean they're gonna be successful in what their plans are with him. No, I gotta make sure I say that. I left the end out. Yeah, they don't come for him, but that's gonna be the biggest mistake they ever made in their life. Remember that. Y'all hit the like button, man. 12 more likes get us to 100 before the first hour. What? I think all the messy people might have came on and say, what happened in Austin? They thought I was going to say something real crazy happened. But let's get 11 more likes. I appreciate y'all coming through, man. When time existed at 0 digits, people witnessed My acts of scientific pre-Neolithic geophysics. Ooh, who said that? MC Josiah says, I'm going to start going to the library twice a week starting tomorrow, mainly because I want to study and improve my life. Yeah, man, shout out to the library, man. Somebody asked me the other week, hey, man, do they still got libraries? I'm like, yeah, they still got libraries. Danielle, you wrote Astral Projection? Yep. That's one of my favorite songs too, Danielle. Thank you. I love when people mention songs that don't get mentioned a lot. I got some songs that I really like, but people don't really mention those songs. They mention the same songs all the time for the most part. But every now and then somebody will come along and they'll hit me with one that I like, oh, you listen to that one? I'm really impressed when people catch those underrated songs, you know. Yeah. Right. You say the sound man was talking crazy to you? Oh, what? What the sound man said? I don't remember that. He said the sound man tried talking hella to me, and you had my back. I never. Oh man, salute. I don't know. I don't remember what the sound. I don't remember that incident, but yeah, whatever the sound man did, yeah, I got your back, man. Yeah. The sound man is the sound man at any event is like he's the controller. He's the holder of the card. So sometimes they'll try to power move on you. I'm like, dude, you're doing a job. Your job ain't to try to sabotage. Your job is to make sure my sound is right, not to feel like you got some kind of power card that you can mess me up if you want to. You're being paid by the promoter and the organizer of this event to make sure this stuff is right, not to be on some ego trip. Yeah. DJ Memphis Mix. What's going on? You. Moth says, would you leave America? I can't see myself leaving America. I can't say I wouldn't, but my mind leans more 99% that I wouldn't. But I can't say that I ever would. I can't say that I would not. It would have to be an unbelievable type of circumstance that would make me be like, wow, yeah, I have to go. This is amazing over here, wherever it is. You know, it would have to be so astronomical. It would have to be astronomical on an astronomical level. Yeah. Bars O'Neill said, I'm with Farrakhan. Wise man. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people that's not in the nation that love the minister. They know, they respect and they love the minister and they stand with him. You don't have to be in the nation. You don't have to be in the nation, but because you're in the nation, even if you're not in the nation. What do I think about O.J. Simpson? Man, we got an O.J. reference. Give me 4 more likes, y'all. If it's 4 people in here that haven't clicked the like button, let's get to that round number. Let's get to 100, y'all. What do I think about O.J. Simpson? In terms of what? One of the greatest running backs of all time. If y'all never saw O.J. play, see, there's a generation that only know O.J. from the murder scandal, the whole thing, with his ex-wife and all that, and people arguing whether he did it, didn't do it, had somebody to do it. It's a whole generation that's the only thing they know O.J. Simpson for. But if you really know, hey man, I appreciate y'all too for the likes. But if you saw O.J. Simpson play, There's certain players from back in the day that you could look at and say, he could play today. OJ could absolutely play today in today's game. Bars O'Neill said, Louis Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, and Farad Muhammad, Master Farad Muhammad. Jimmy said, I love watching Farrakhan's speeches. Man, come on, Farrakhan. Yeah. Man. Do you think the government has a personal vendetta against people who seek the truth? Maybe I wouldn't use the word vendetta. I would say that they have a mission to suppress the truth, and if somebody gets too deep into any truth that can bust down what they're attempting to do, then I think the government does target those type of people and try to shut them down in one way or the other. Yeah. Los D King, Memphis checking in. Do you think you spit your hardest verses on features or on your own song? I would say my own songs. My own songs. I got too many albums and my own songs to where the hardest verses are gonna outweigh any features on my own albums. It's gonna outweigh any features. You know, I didn't hit some on some features that I was like, oh yeah. But because I try not to cheat people on features. You know, I try to come hard on the feature like I would come on my songs. That's why some people might say, "Oh man, which is harder?" But you know, and I talked about this on another video, another live. I can't remember how a lot of rappers be cheating artists on features. They get on people's songs and just say anything. You know, not all of them, but a lot of them just say anything. These people done paid you 25, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000, 1,000, 500. You know. Yeah, man. Sweet James Jones, what's going on? Is that Azazel, aka Supra? Said I remember that line. Oh World Media, where can I buy your book? My books. That's my email address, Oh World Media. Hit me up, I'll send you the cash out. Miss Lady Sample says, with all due respect, I'm just sticking with Jesus. I'm curious to know why you think the Farrakhan man was divinely sent. I guess to me, it just comes off as another form of like Catholics or what's the other part? Oh, the Jehovah Witness. Um, no, you are not wrong to stick with Jesus. Absolutely, you should. We all should. But what we have to make sure that we sticking to the right Jesus. We got to make sure that we're not sticking to the version of Jesus that was created, packaged, and handed to us. See, there's a false Jesus, there's a false man that's been presented to us. See, Christianity and the teachings of Jesus are not the same thing in this world. See, this version, what they call Christianity, is been stepped on. Now, so if you following Jesus, the true Jesus, you're doing absolutely right. Nobody can argue with you on that. Because those principles, I'm like, who can argue with those principles? Even the people who now, you know, it's this big campaign. Oh man, it ain't no such thing as Jesus. It's a fake Jesus. You know, and I ain't gonna get into the name and all that. I always say that's a whole nother conversation. But regardless of what you believe or not, if you look at the principles, how can you get mad? Now, to answer the second part of your question, you say, I'm curious to know why you think the Farrakhan man was divinely sent. Well, it's an old saying, you can tell a tree by the fruit that it bears. So if you have an individual who claims that he's of God, that he's from God, of God, sent by God, whatever the case may be, many men have come down the pike and said that. Men and women have come down the pike and said that. The difference is if the man who's making those claims, if his claims are constantly backed up by fruit, by fruition, by things that he says and that he does coming to pass, and that his works are planting seeds that are seeds of great works. He's multiplying, he's changing lives for the better. He's taking the worst of the worst of people and transforming those lives into the best of the best of people in this world, in this civilization. He's telling you things, because you got a lot of preachers that'll say, well, God told me last night, he said to me, and some of them, that didn't really happen. But if you got a man who's saying he's connected to the God, he's tied into the God, and when he tells you that something is going to happen, and it happens. And I'm not talking about no lightweight stuff. I can tell you the sun going to come up tomorrow. Pretty sure bet. Jesus performed miracles. But we look at miracles in fairy tale ways because we watched certain stuff on TV and in movies. We watched Charlton Heston play Moses in the Ten Commandments and throw a rod down on the ground and turn into a snake. We watch those things and we read the Bible in a way that we don't understand the translation of the allegories to now we would look at it as like it's a fairy tale book. We don't understand interpretations. So a miracle to us is something that's just so far-fetched because we don't understand the meanings of it. But if you look at a man like Farrakhan who said, you know what, we're going to get 1 million black men to come to Washington, D.C. We're going to call this the Million Man March and get 1 million black men to come to Washington, D.C. on a Monday where everybody's supposed to be at work. And I forgot what percentage, but the majority percentage of the black men that came to the Million Man March, they were not Muslims, they were Christians. And it wasn't just 1 million men that showed up, it was almost 2 million that showed up at the call of this one man who put it on God. And no fights, no violence, no ill will. I mean, 2 million Negroes in one spot. We can't get together at grandma's house without 2 of the uncles getting into it. So I'm saying this as just little examples of why, if you say, well, why do y'all think he's a divine man? Because again, his works. See, nobody can just say, well, I just think he is. No, that's not good enough. You can only judge a man by his works and what he produces. What he produces is always of good. So that's what you gauge it by. It's like, man, this dude turned dope dealers into upstanding citizens. He turned prostitutes into upstanding citizens. He transformed the mind and lives of these people. Like, now people that are not in tune to him to watch him like that don't see that. And people who, not you, Miss Lady Sample, in general, people who are quick to believe all the stuff they say about him on TV, on the news station, all the lies and the slander they tell, because they know who he is. They know who he is better than black folks know who he is. So he falls into that pattern. What has always happened to the men of God throughout history in scripture that we read? There was always, like I said, there were governments against them, and there were always slander campaigns to try to convince the people that he was not who he actually was. Because if the people knew who he actually was, the majority would follow behind him. So the campaign got to be, we cannot let them know who this man really is. So we control the media. We gonna tell you who he is, but it's not gonna be who he really is. Because you got to turn the people against the man of God. And the truth of the matter is, the man of God in every generation, every era of history, for the most part, has always been rejected by the majority of the people. They never accepted who he is. I don't care if it's Jesus, I don't care if it's Moses, all the way down the line. Noah, they thought Noah was bat boo-boo crazy when he was building the ark and preaching to people for 100-some years that it was gonna rain. They thought he was crazy. So take that and put it in a modern time. What will we be found doing? Thinking the same thing, that this dude is crazy. That's the pattern. So a lot of us will get caught up on the other side, on the wrong side, because the true man was in our presence the whole time, and we followed behind what the enemy had been teaching us this whole time. Because he's always given us our way. This is your education. This is your language. This is your religion. Here. This is what I'm telling you what your religion is. I'm telling you what your language is. And somebody come along after decades and centuries and say, nope, that ain't right. They lied to you. It's not who, it ain't what Jesus looked like. See? And we reject him. It's all in the scripture. It's in the Bible. I ain't gotta go Quran. It's in the Bible. The people they will reject the true man of God when he right in their midst because of what the enemy have taught them who's the true man of God. So the one that we should be riding with, who told you that? It ain't about the information. The information is one thing. Who gave you the information is another thing. Right or wrong, you gotta say, well, who said that? Oh, he said that. You gotta look into that. Murder Fiend, I appreciate the love, man. Thank you, Murder Fiend, both times. Murder Fiend, 2 times on the scene, man. The enemy is teaching us to be the men of frauds, man, and to follow the men of frauds. What's up, Feet Truth? What's up, Jordan Hawk? Vincent, what's going on? Vic, is that Eligio? He said, this is why you got to show love to everyone, because you never know who they are spiritually. Man, that's some wise words, man. Never know. I heard somebody say that it's angels among us. It's always angels among us on the planet. We don't know. We may have never encountered any person. I may have never encountered an angel personally. But one of the last things I would want to do was to have encountered an angel and dogged him out and treated him like crap. Angel disguised in the form of a homeless man begging for some money. And I cuss him out and say, man, watch out, man. Get the hell away from me, man. Now, you have to use discernment. You know, sometimes you know what's what, but it's a wise comment. You treat everybody with respect. That's why I'm talking about the story with the whole Austin, Texas thing. You know, lead with respect. And don't ever make the mistake of getting caught up in somebody's appearance. We got that bad as a society, as a world, especially in America, where we'll look at what a person is wearing. We'll look at your clothes and we'll look you up and down and see what kind of shoes you got on. If your shoes are a little scruffy, they look at you like, you pull up in a car and your car's kind of, don't nobody want to stand beside you. Oh, man, the dude pulled up in this car, man. You saw his car? You don't know who that person is. You don't know who that person will be. And you don't know what your test is in that moment. You're not being aware of your trial to have humility and have respect. Lead with respect. I mean, this old dope fiend dude, man. Watch out, man. Lead with respect, bro. Los D said, waiting on another feature with you and my brother Record. Shout out to Record, man. That boy so hard. That boy go hard, man. Tamika Woods, I appreciate that, Tamika Woods. I'll be praying that I don't say nothing out of pocket. Appreciate that, Tamika. I was at the Million Man March too. I went to the Million Man March. All praise to do to Allah. I went to the Million Man March and I went to the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March in 2015. I'm proud to say I was a part of that that history. Yeah. Lou Hybrid says, miracles which go unto the kings of the earth and unto the whole world to gather them into battle of that great day of God Almighty. Revelations. I'm bouncing all over the place, y'all, and I apologize. Everybody that's coming in right now, y'all subscribe to the channel if y'all new. Even if you're not new, make sure you're subscribed and make sure your notifications are on. Everybody who's in here now, if y'all didn't know that I have a podcast called Underground Dialogue Podcast with my homie Keith Stowe. And the new episode, the latest episode is out right now. So when y'all get through, if y'all ain't too tired of hearing my mouth, go to the Underground Dialogue Podcast right here on YouTube and check out the latest episode with Sister Cliche. And we air every Wednesday at 9 p.m. right here on YouTube. Yeah. The streets need an SPC and a Houston Cypher. DJ Memphis Mix. Yeah, we've done it before. Well, they've done it before. I might have been on one or two of them. I can't remember. Yeah. So, Jordan, today's your birthday? Hey, man, everybody in here tell Jordan Hawk happy birthday, man. Let's show some birthday love. Jordan made another trip around the sun. What a blessing, man. So everybody in here, let's give Jordan a happy B-Day. Salute. Know what I'm talking about? Know what I'm saying? DC Cutler, we appreciate you, man. Connie says, the scripture says, man looks on the outside, but God looks at the heart. That's right. Azazel says, I've led with respect my whole life, and it ain't got me nowhere. Actually, it did. So you might not perceive it. You might not think it didn't get you in. You never know what your leading with respect got you. Might have kept you alive and you didn't even know it. You may have said something to a person who was 1 inch away from going off. And you may have said something real respectful and nice to that person, or smiled at this person, this lady or whatever, and it just may have saved somebody's life. They were about to kill themselves, and you gave her a compliment. She went home and rethought it. We just don't know. We don't know what the seeds we plant. If I plant a seed in Mississippi, I don't know what it's going to turn out to be. If I come all the way back to Texas, I don't know what that seed turned out to be. So keep doing it. Don't think that good works go in vain, even though if you don't feel an immediate give back or receiving of some kind of visible blessing. God saw it. He saw it. It's in your account. It's in your account. Yep. Home of the Jamaica 509. K-Rino, the Plan is a good song. The food poisoning song. Oh, man. Come on. I think you meant to say relevant. Yeah, man. I got to make a part 2 to that. I don't even do part 2s like that. Yeah. What up, Black? Man. Glad you watched it, Memphis Mix. Come on, man. Y'all make sure, man. I need y'all to watch my podcast, man. Straight up. We want to get the numbers up. We ain't gonna stop doing it. We're gonna keep on dropping this this knowledge best we can. Dollar bill, y'all. Dollar. I'm gonna call you tomorrow, man. I'm gonna call you tomorrow, Dollar. Word is bond. Yep. Is this Tigra Loco 24? That's true. I spoke with a man at a Mexican restaurant and he was really quiet. He left. And when I was done and going to pay, find out he paid my meal. Man, never know, man. Never know. Don't ever think the good things you do are worthless. I want y'all to remember that. Take that with you. I don't care if it's opening the door for a lady. I talked about this a long time ago. You ever, as a man, you ever open the door for a lady and she walked right past you, didn't say thank you or nothing, just frowned up and walked right in, didn't say thank you or nothing. So in your chest, you want to say, man, you can't even say. But it ain't about that. You did your part. Open the door for, if she don't say thank you, that's on her. It's not on you. Plain and simple. Did your part. Spikey says fasting is underrated and powerful. Absolutely. This the month of Ramadan right now. There's fasting going on all around the world. JJ Toretti, what are your thoughts on, is that Ayo Kamathi? I don't know who that is. No, I'm not familiar with Ayo Kamathi. I'll have to look him up if I can remember. Feet Truth said parasite cleanse, fast and praying. Yep. And it's good for your soul. That's right. Draw to send me an email. Serious inquiries only. I do features all the time. I don't do features. They're not features, they're features. So we can discuss your budget. And if you're serious about working, that's my email right there. Just hit me up. Yep. I screen recorded a YouTuber saying that Farrakhan had nothing to do with with starting the Million Man March. This sentiment stems from the online beef between Black Americans and Caribbean Black. Well, if somebody said that the minister was not the force behind the Million Man March, then they are wrong. Um, I vaguely recall hearing the minister say that someone else may have sparked the idea, the conversation, the idea. I'm trying to say this in a way where I'm not speaking nothing false, but it was placed on the minister's heart. And regardless of the circumstances, he is the one, and at the time was the one who was qualified to make it work. He was the voice that the people would respond to. There's no disrespect to nobody else, no other Black leader, nobody. They weren't going to respond to nobody else. Farrakhan had to be the one to make the call. He made the call. So nobody else would have been able to pull that off. And it goes back to when the question was asked, and I use the Million Man March as one little tiny example of why we say the minister is a divine man, because of that very reason. Nobody who that had to be backed by God. Think about it. That had to be backed by God. All of the components and all of the elements that lined up to make that an unmatched success. You know, God had his hand all over that. And that call went through the minister. No disrespect to nobody else. So, but what we also got to understand is that, unfortunately, a lot of our Black leaders, a lot of our Black brothers and sisters suffer from envy and jealousy. So they see all of the great things that Farrakhan has done and does, and they become envious. They don't like that he's making it happen. They wanted it to be them. See, there were a lot of people who had a lot of things to say about the Million Man March before it happened, leading up to it. A lot of, I guess we call them negative critiques. And so those same people ended up wanting to speak at the march. Mr. Farrakhan, being the kind of man he is, having the kind of heart that he is, he ain't come. See, this is what I would have did. This is what the average brother would have did. Like, oh no, you want to come in and try to speak now? You was talking down last month. Now you want to see, that's us. The minister ain't got that kind of heart. The minister was like, oh yeah, of course, you speak out. Of course. See, that's why he ain't like us. No pun intended for the song. We not like him. See? Murder Fiend, appreciate the love. Say, all this respect talk makes me want to bring up my song I have called Only Respect Is Real. Come on with it. We need it. We need any song, all y'all rappers out there, man. Any real content y'all got, keep dropping it, man. Tiger says, God is good. Man, I'm trying to be a blessing, man. We all got work to do, man. Many people learn from your music, man. I learned from God's men. I told y'all I ain't nobody, bro. I'm trying to become somebody. Yep. Connie said he was called to do this at that particular time. It was successful. It was called by God. Yeah, and that ain't the only thing. The minister resume, man. Y'all go look up Wilt Chamberlain numbers and his records and all the records Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan got. The minister got a resume of like I say, miracles. Yeah. Murder Fiend said my demo is either going to be called Consumed by Roaches or The World of the Uncivilized. I got an idea. Just drop 2 of them and keep both titles. Miss Lady Sample says, what if we get to heaven and God doesn't have a skin color or care about any of ours? Not trying to be disrespectful in any way, just feel like God is going to view us. No, you are absolutely right. See, one of the biggest misconceptions is that Farrakhan is a racist. Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan, they hate white people and the followers hate. Bro, these are the same men who teach. I didn't hear this from nowhere. I heard this from Mr. Farrakhan. I heard this from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. God judges men based on righteousness, not skin color. It don't have nothing to do with your color. It has to do with your obedience and your righteousness. That's it. Because now, if we start talking about history, if we start talking about genetics and things of that nature, and then you hear somebody say, well, yeah, the black people are the original people on the earth. Okay, that's a scientific, historical, genetical fact. So some people would view that, oh, that's racist. No, it's not. But at the end of the day, we got to call it for what it is. If there are people who are out here corrupting, destroying the world, and have been historically the catalyst behind all of the peoples of the planet being destroyed, you got to call that out for what it is. And if they happen to be of a certain color, of a certain race, then it's what it is. It ain't racist. It's just pointing out who did what. See? So it's not disrespectful, because you're right. God values all life. He just wants us to do right by him. Appreciate the love. Sweet James Jones. Yeah. Man, y'all on it tonight, man. Y'all dropping it heavy tonight. This hard times, little brother. What's up, Paul Martinez? Yeah, as hard times. Like I say, they were just, the venue people were just acting funny with us when we got there. That's all. So we decided to shut it down. That's what happened. My bad. I'm just seeing your message. But yeah, the people who, the spot we were doing the meet and greet at, they was acting funny. So we just made a business decision. We made a decision to say, if y'all don't want us there, we don't want to be here. That's all it was. But you rewind back to the beginning, I go more into depth about it. Yeah. Miss Lady Sample, the history is heartbreaking, and it bothers me that so many people on this earth do not know their family history due to external force. Yeah, but that was the plan. See, when you disconnect God's people from who they are, you disconnect them from God. That's all it is. That was the plan. I can't make you worship me if God is in the way. So I got to remove God out the way and present myself as God. So you'll worship me. I got to put the fear of God in you so you'll worship me. And that's what happened to us. So every image that we ever saw was white Jesus, white Mary, white baby Jesus, white God with a beard and thunderbolts, and but scripture don't back that up. Just saying. Feed Truth hit me with them 3 7s. Appreciate the love, man. Blessings to you. Appreciate all the wisdom and just being 100. Man, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate them 3 7s. Thank you so much. Yeah, Vic, go research the Million Man March. You'll see. Go research the Million Man March. They got a few they may have a few documentaries on YouTube. See, this is what you got to understand. This is another thing that we have to we got to look at stuff in detail. Do you notice? Now I just got through saying how the Million Man March was one of, if not, but definitely one of the greatest, largest gatherings of people, period. Black, white, whatever. This was one of the greatest gatherings of people in one place in human history that I'm aware of. Almost 2 million black men gathered on the mall in Washington, D.C. This is got to be, I don't know what happened 40,000 years ago. I don't know what may have happened, long before we were around. But for what I've seen, I cannot go back into history. I know the March on Washington, when Martin Luther King gave the I Have a Dream speech, it was like 200,000. That's huge, but it don't compare to almost 2 million. So what I'm saying is, when you say you want to go back and watch some documentaries, have anybody noticed that despite what I just said about how big this gathering is, did you notice how you never even hear nothing about the Million Man March? Think about that. They don't talk about it in the schools. You rarely see it. You hardly hear or see anything about it in recognition or praise of it on TV. No type of anniversaries outside of the Nation of Islam and any black organizations that rock with it. You don't see them talk. You may see on TV, this is the 55th anniversary on the March on Washington, and they'll show Martin Luther King, and they'll talk about what led up to it. They don't do that with the Million Man March. There are young black people who are 20 years old, 25 years old, probably don't even know nothing about the Million Man March. Think about that. Why? Why don't they talk about this event as being one of the greatest historical events in human history? Why do they not talk about that? Ask yourself that question. What are they trying to hide? What is it about the Million Man March that they don't want known? And see, like I say, I was around when the first one went down. I was there. So I remember seeing some of the slander campaigns that were carried out on like the news station, like CNN, Fox, and all that. I remember seeing all of the Pharaoh's magicians, black preachers talking against the march and all that, and it got a lot of media attention leading up to the march that was really laid out to try to discredit it, hoping to discourage people from going, but all it really did was promote it. So they didn't make that mistake the second go round when they had the 20th anniversary in 2015. They didn't make that mistake. They didn't give the 20th anniversary no type of media coverage like that. No, we ain't gonna make that mistake again. But by this time, there was a thing in existence called social media. Wasn't no social media in 1995 when the first Million Man March when the Million Man March took place. Wasn't no social media. Everything spread either through news or word of mouth or however it got down. 2015, they say no, we're gonna give it no hype, but it was social media. So people still showed up. What's up, Ethan? I see you. Jimmy says, I've heard people say it doesn't matter what color they painted Jesus. It mattered enough to never paint him how the Bible describes. Yeah. See, somebody said that one time, Jimmy. Somebody said, oh, it don't matter what color he is. It mattered to somebody. Might not matter to you, or you was told to say, or you was taught that it didn't matter. But how would you feel if your father walked this earth and accomplished great things on this earth? Your actual father did great things on this earth. I mean, when you could just list all of his great accomplishments in whatever field he was in, and then your father passes away, and 10, 20 years later, they put a picture of somebody else up claiming it to be your father, and this is what they naming everything that your daddy actually did, but they saying that this guy did it. How would you feel? And people are saying, well, no, that's not my daddy didn't even look like that. My daddy had dreadlocks. He had a tattoo right here. So it does matter. And like I say, it matters to whoever changed it, because why'd they change it? Change it for a reason, because of what I said earlier. If they change it because if you trying to enslave a people, you can't enslave a people while there's pictures of the God and the deities looking just like them people that you're trying to enslave. They'll be like, wait a minute. That's Jesus? They're like me. So they had to change him to look like them so they could say, look, see, God is white. Looks like me. You listen to me. And all the way up to when I was a young cat, I said this before. I know I can always tell when it ain't my first time saying something. I grew up in the era where black folks still had pictures of white Jesus on their wall in the house. I told y'all what it was. It used to be Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, and white Jesus. Those were the three pictures that would be on black folks' wall in black folks' house. Ron Johnson said, and Mr. Farrakhan got 2 million to show up and didn't have the internet. So if he got 2 million to show up and didn't have the internet, you telling me that God ain't in that? See, that's why I say, so when we ask the question, and like I say, the Million Man March is just one good example. It's a bunch of stuff that the minister has done. But you telling me that God ain't backing that man? Come on, man. Great point, Ron. Vic says it definitely does sound like something that should be in the school. Why? Yeah, why is it not in the, it ain't in, they don't talk about it. If it wasn't for members of the Nation of Islam, they would have been buried the Million Man March out of history. We would never hear about it. I got a newspaper somewhere in my house. It's somewhere. I know I got it, because I know I wouldn't have threw it away. When I got back home from the Million Man March, I saw a newspaper. One of the first things I saw, and it had the Million Man March on the front page of the newspaper. Like I say, which would never happen today. And they lied and said it was 400,000 people that showed up at the Million Man March. That's why I kept the paper. Now, what is the term that people use? What's the term that for people who, when they calculate and count big crowds, it's a term for that. I forgot what they're called, but they have a scientific method from overhead to where they can look at a crowd and they can determine the crowd sizes. They can get approximations on how big the crowd was. I'm not one of those people, but I know by being at the Million Man March, I know it's more than 400,000 now. Because I can remember standing where I was standing, and I wasn't directly in the middle, but I wasn't all the way up at the front either. I was kind of more closer to the front, but not in the middle. So when I would turn around and look behind me, man, I'm talking about all you see is a freaking ocean of black dudes, just as far as you can see, just like it's just never seen nothing like it. It's an ocean, like as far as you can see. It's like standing on a beach and looking at the water. So I looked at I was like 400,000. I knew they lied. Houston Chronicle told that lie because they want to discredit it. They want to make it seem, oh, it wasn't that big. He failed. He claimed he wanted him. He said he wanted 1 million, and he didn't get 1 million, so it didn't work. That's what they want to be able to say. But professionals made the determination that it was 1.8, 1.7 with almost 2 million. See, they're going to do everything right and exact in the nation. They ain't going to play around like this. We're going to find, because this is the type of person Mr. Farrakhan is. If it didn't reach 1 million, he wouldn't let the people say it was 1 million. He wouldn't let his own followers say, well, it wasn't 1 million. He wouldn't want to take credit if the march fell short. If it was 400,000 and that number was proven to be factual, the minister would say 400,000. He's not going to lie just to say, well, yeah, you know. So nah. But if you don't know his how he get down, yeah. Erica says pride is very important. That's what my father taught me. Absolutely. Gotta have some pride. Y'all hear clicking? Sometimes people hear clicking, sometimes people don't. Connie said my grandma had those 3 pictures. Everybody had them. If you old enough to remember, like you came up in grandma's house, it was a 3 pictures. It was Kennedy, Martin Luther King, and white Jesus. Oh my God. Ben Brown says the 1 Million Strong album was my first album I ever heard. That's amazing that you were there. Yeah, man. All praise to do to Allah that I was able to make it there. I wasn't born when they had the March on Washington. I wasn't around for a lot of historical events, but I was around for that one. And I was there. Estimate, analysis, perpetration. And yeah, and it was on TV. They did televise it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right, man. Y'all got anything else y'all want to ask your big brother? Anything else y'all want to ask your big brother? Yeah. Chase filling game. Farrakhan has very good foreign policy and anti-imperialist positions. He even stands with countries like Iran and North Korea. I mean, the minister just stands for what's right. That's plain and simple. You know, he stands on God and what's right. If it ain't right, he gonna call it out. Don't care if it's me, don't care if it's Billy Bob, don't care if it's a president, a king, a queen. That's what the man of God do. Yeah. Y'all drop y'all locations, man. Let me shout y'all out. I ain't gonna hold y'all all night. Your big brother got work to do. I've been promising y'all an album for a long time. So in order for me to deliver that album, I need to finish it. Yeah. So let me shout y'all out and get out y'all way. Azazel Supra, New York City in the building. Vincent is in Aloha, Hawaii, in Hawaii, saying aloha. Erica's in Beaumont. Fee Troop, Detroit. I'll be coming to Detroit soon, man. Miss Lady Sample, South Shore of Lake Superior. South Shore, Lake Superior. Memphis Mix, Austin, Texas. Memphis Mix, you ain't come through and holler at us yesterday? Even though we wasn't that long. We're going to do another show, man. Well, we're going to do a show. I want you to be there, man. Saw the accident from 4535, also not familiar with the area. Oh, okay, I didn't know they had an accident. Yeah. Battlefield is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Jimmy Robinson, Anniston, Alabama. From Louisiana to Alabama. Ja, what's up, Ja? 7 Mile. Pearl, what's that? Gangrene. The Murder Fiend out there in Katy. JJ Toretti in Montana. Man, Montana. Shout out, man. We don't get many people from Montana. Appreciate that. Is that Dolph DMP? Salute to you. Connie is in that 619. Okay. That's all we got. Oh, you was in Houston. That's what's up. So what did we switched places? All my sports fans, the new episode of Legends 34 Sports Podcast is out as well. Shout out to the homie DJ Reg. I see you, Mitchie. Y'all go subscribe to both our podcasts and check out the latest episodes of both. Y'all can do that tonight. Y'all seem to be late night owls like me. Yeah. Spread the word, man. If we saying something good, y'all spread the word. Go get all my music on all of the platforms that don't pay us. And be looking for the new projects that's coming out. Anybody interested in books? And hold on, man. Let me show y'all something before I go. Let me show y'all something before I go, man. We got some of these. We got some of these. Trying to decide if I want to sell them online. Got these. See, we on it. Y'all been telling me to get my shirt game up. Get my merch game up. We got South Park Coalition stuff, man. Y'all interested? In the words of the Isley Brothers, let me know. Let me know. we're trying to reinstitute and get the site back popping, man. We get it on. All right, y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for the love. I will catch y'all later on. It's your big brother K-Rino. Peace and love.